What's going on, everyone? Much love, many blessings, and good things to you and yours as always. In this episode, I just want to say hello and talk about some important things that I think have been on my mind lately. Maybe go into detail as to why I haven't posted in a while, or just save that for another episode. So, we're going to break this video into a couple of sections. First one is pattern interruption, the real problem, the identity layer, and a simple shift that you can use to integrate it all together. So we're going to cover that together. If you guys see me looking down, I have my monitor down here. Again, little things I'm going to work on as the channel progresses. But one key takeaway that I'll start off with is, at least for me personally, it's so much more important that when you start to develop clarity and an idea of what you want to do, to back it up with imperfect action, because that's the only real way you're going to start to see feedback. That's the only real way you're going to start to make progress. And this might sound like common sense to a lot of people. I get that. But for an overthinker like me, it's like a light bulb went on. And I was like, you know what? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up. And over time, you can get better. Maybe perfection is achievable, maybe not. But what's more important is that you show up. All right, one sec. I'm getting emotional. All right, so let's talk about it. If you feel like you're someone who is an overthinker, if you feel like you're a man who's trying, but nothing is moving forward, it could be just for that reason, overthinking. It's not that you're lazy, it's not that you're broken. It can mainly be because your efforts are not in alignment with who you really are, who you're becoming. And that, in part, is why I haven't posted. I decided that even though the world around me is getting really loud, noisy, and has endless distractions, I wanted to become focused. And I did that by choosing silence. I did that by becoming quiet and allowing myself to listen. So if there's anything, I'm not afraid of boredom. I'm not afraid of silence. In fact, I think those are two powerful teachers that if you let them stay along, if you let them stay around long enough, they can teach you something. Now, I want you to focus on what might be the real problem. We're going to shift the frame. So, a lot of times, people are looking for motivation, but not actually looking for clarity. They're not looking for a way to get out of their current situation. They're either looking for reinforcement or just looking for feel-good vibes. Well, that is great in and of itself, but I'll tell you this, it's kind of like fast food. You rely on that for too long, and you'll start to feel it. My other points that I wanted to bring up were it's important in this day and age with all the noise, all the distractions, for you to be able to cut those out so that you consume less and you execute more. You begin to take action where it really matters, and give yourself the permission to take action even if it's imperfect. I don't know about you, but you might notice this as time progresses, but people, all in all, really don't care. If you make a simple mistake, it might be a little embarrassing, but don't let mistakes or the fear of mistakes hold you back. Think about that. In addition, I want to bring up how noise and being busy can be mistaken for progress when it's not. It's almost like avoidance wrapped in a tuxedo. You're giving yourself the idea that, oh, by preparing, by planning, by learning, I'm making progress. In a way, that can be true, but if it's imbalanced and that's all you do, then it is incorrect. It is not the way. You are not making progress. You're learning, but it's almost like a vehicle that's stuck in the mud, spinning its wheels. You want to take the action. You want to get the reps in. Think of it like going to the gym, which I believe I need to do more of, and I have been, but join the journey, we'll get there. But in the gym, what's so important is that you show up. You get the reps in. Now, you do want to have proper form, and I feel like that is something we can learn. You want to learn the basics, but from there, get the reps in, my friends. All right, now, here's the identity layer. Behavior follows identity. So it can be seen that you want to do this, you want to do that, you see that in yourself. So then why aren't you making progress? Why aren't you getting ahead? Sometimes that can be because your identity is still stuck on who you used to be, on your former self. Your bad habits are still there. So what's going to be important is that you need to update and refresh your self-image, who you are now versus who you want to be. That's going to allow your behavior and your actions to follow without much hesitation or resistance. It's going to come natural. And we'll talk about that more in this channel, but I'm kind of just giving you guys an overview here, really just putting in the reps to get things going and give you an overview. Now, in addition to that, if your self-image is unclear, action will stay inconsistent. Discipline becomes easier when the identity is defined. And this is really important that I want to take a step into. Every so often, and this is partly why I took time off the channel, I had to get really clear on who I'm becoming and who I want to be. I had to allow myself to let go of things that either were no longer good for me or were no longer actually in my life, but I still held on to. Think of it like cleaning your room or your house. There's times when you have things that they feel special, or you think, I'm going to use it one day, but it turns out it just sits there for years. Might not be you, but that's happened to me. And when you finally let it go, it clears up the room, it clears up this space. And that happens with us as well in our identities. So, if anything, call to action in the middle of the video is to allow yourself some time, whether every night, once a week, once a month, at minimum once a year. It's better than nothing, I suppose. Look at who you think you are. Ask yourself, what matters to me right here and now? And is it in alignment with who I want to become? One way to do that is through calm focus. A little bit on what I touched on earlier about allowing the silence to come into your life. In a world that is noisy, filled with distractions and endless entertainment and information, it's easy to have your mind consumed. But this channel, this brand and company that I'm working on is about freeing your mind. It's about allowing yourself that opportunity to gain that calm focus and clarity in a world of distraction and noise. So there are multiple ways to do this, but clarity creates calm execution and intentional action for a better life. A quick way that we can do this, one that I do regularly, is allow myself to sit in silence, allow myself to take some deep breaths, and then I journal. Even if it's just for a few minutes, it's really effective in clearing the mind, but also allowing yourself to hold a sense of trajectory so that you don't forget later on. I've reminded certain friends and family about that. There's things that they have to do or things to take care of, and they'll be like, yeah, I got it. And then I remind them later on, because I think that's an important part of friendship, is to care about what people say they want to do and what they want to become, and ask them about it, follow up. Anyways, time and time again, I'll find people who will tell me, oh, I didn't do it, I forgot. And I've done that too, but ever since I started journaling, ever since I started taking notes, things have become a lot more clear, and I'm able to remember things a lot better, so it's a side benefit there. All right, we're going to move on to this simple shift. Now, I talked about allowing yourself to question and review your identity every so often, ideally once a week, if anything, once a month, but there's also the importance of setting your intention daily. I do this through journaling in the morning, but you can do it however you want to, whether it's a voice note, typing, so on and so forth. This is going to be important. Then we have our weekly identity update and mindset reset. All that means is we're going to continue to, on a regular basis, look at our numbers, so to speak. Are my values present, and am I taking actions that are aligned with those values? Where is my mind at? What are the thoughts that are dominating my mind this week? Are they helpful? Are they negative? What can I do about it? Those are important questions, and we'll expand on these exercises throughout the videos coming up, but those are very helpful, I think, in my own life and hopefully in yours. Also, another few positive exercises that you can engage in, we talked about it. You can clean up your environment, and you can focus on 3 daily actions that you can take to make imperfect progress. You heard me right. 3 simple actions that you can take so that you can get the needle moving forward. All right. So, one thing to summarize, take a moment to go within. Every so often, you'll be able to calm yourself. Use those days that might feel boring, feel like you might have downtime, not to engage with your social media or doom scroll, but use the opportunity to spend time with yourself. Because that's going to be a key shift moving forward. Are you someone that your younger self would be proud of? Are you someone who's impressed by who you've become? And if not, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up, but ask a deeper question, and that is, why not? And what can I do to get there? It's my belief and mission in the channel to help men and women, but the main focus is men because I'm a guy. It's the most I can relate with. The focus is to bring that side out of us, the best version of ourselves, but in a practical way, not in some hoorah motivation, which are good or helpful, but it's not the only thing. It's like saying, I can speak my way to success, but I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do any actions, none of that. It's not true. They both matter. This channel is about finding the balance between the two and using that to integrate into our life and become a version of ourselves that not only we're impressed by, and it's not really an impressed by for others, it's an impressed kind of for yourself. Take a step back and look around and be like, wow, I did that, or I'm doing this. That's what I think is truly valuable for building a better self-image and a better quality of life. And that's the mission that I'm on here. That's why I've taken time off social media to really become clear about what matters and who I'm becoming and really improving other areas of my life, which I'd love to share with you guys on this journey. I don't want to make the video too much longer, so I'm going to wrap it up. We can have a short reflection. If you have the time, ask yourself, what version am I reinforcing daily? Think about that. Give yourself the opportunity to ask that question and write down the answer. Leave a comment below what you wrote. If it's not too personal and you're willing to share it, I'm interested in hearing. Because if I ask myself that question, what version of me am I reinforcing daily? I would say I'm reinforcing a version of me that is calm, that is clear, and that is disciplined. Not in a boring or rigid way, but in a way that I have self-defined boundaries for myself so that I can become more of who I want to be and partake or take action in the things that bring me joy. It's easy when you're in survival mode or you're distracted to just do things without really thinking about it. But at the end of the day, we all have limited time on this planet, and it's our most valuable resource. So why not make the most of our time by being intentional with every single action that we take? It can sound like a lot, trust me, I know. And at times, if you feel overwhelmed, that's okay. That's just a signal that you have to maybe dial it back a bit. You don't have to change the world overnight, but you can start changing yourself today. I hope that's helpful for you all. We'll talk about this more in the next video, but I just really wanted to get the momentum going, share a little bit about my story, share what I've been working on, and I want you guys to feel comfortable here, sharing some of your personal insights along. Well, if you're on the journey of becoming your best self and you find this video helpful or interesting, leave a like, follow, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Much love, many blessings, and good things to you and yours. Take care.